How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation. It's time to get creative. It's time to get that imagination running wild, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Ralph McQuarrie. If you're not familiar with his work, well, you probably are. You just don't know it. Check right over here. I grabbed a couple of great illustrations and paintings from him. He is basically the creative mindset behind what we probably know and love about sci-fi today. He did concept art for Star Wars, for Battlestar Galactica, for E.T., for Cocoon. He did stuff for Indiana Jones. Just a phenomenal concept artist and great painter and everything on top of that as well. But really, a lot of his imagination really came to be what helped form everyone else's imagination for at least a decade, and then, you know, for years and years to come beyond that. But definitely you can tell this is that the slug creature from Star Wars. You've got some of the stuff from Hoth. I mean, he's the one who originally came up with the desert landscape for Tatooine, and R2-D2 with C-3PO, and just a phenomenal concept artist. And the thing that I really love about his concept art is that it's really these, which when people look at Star Wars today, you know, you're looking at stuff that's almost 30 years old now, getting close to it. No, older than that, because it was 77. Yeah, it's almost 40 years old now. So a lot of the stuff that is just iconic now, and it's symbolic, but at the time there was nothing like this. He was harkening upon stuff from the medieval period, you know, with different armor sets and just this kind of 1950s kind of futuristic, and then blending that with fantasy, and just all of these ideas melded together and came up with just new ideas that are now so ingrained in our society that it's just, of course, well, yeah, that's sci-fi. You know, this is just we take it for granted that his mind, and you know, blended with a lot of ideas from you know, Lucas and Spielberg and just different directors and everything too. But he really helped to shape the science fiction art industry for forever. I think Mobius, Jean Girard, and Ralph McQuarrie, just some of my favorites for sure. You can see the cantina scene with original concept of Han Solo, and it's probably a Greedo with the tail. It's pretty cool. And this is some concept art he did for Masters of the Universe, and this was the one from Indiana Jones. What is it? Is it Raiders of the Lost Ark? Where they're looking for the Ark of the Covenant. He did the arc for that. That was in the book that he was leafing through. Just phenomenal. This is the Battlestar Galactica. I love his stuff. This is Cocoon. I love this piece. It's a really great movie. If you've never seen Cocoon, definitely check that one out as well. So anyways, he's phenomenal. I could literally just sit and leaf through illustrations of his for hours and hours and hours and never get tired of it. He's just got such a creative mind. But anyways, I wanted to share a quick little snippet from an interview that he did that I thought was really great. And so I think a lot of my ideas just float up from my subconscious mind like a bubble from the bottom of a lake. I think that is such a great way to be. And put it in two parts. First off, I know that myself, that as I get more into creating and understanding the fundamentals of how things work, and just trying to tap into that creative energy more and more each and every year, my dreams start getting more realistic and more vivid as well, because that side of my brain is really working harder than it used to during the day, because I'm trying to think outside of the box during the day. So I think that subconscious is totally a muscle that you have to use and try and work at and push it further all the time. But also there's the other side of this, is that it's important that throughout your day that you fill that subconscious with things that you want to fill it with. And this is kind of a little preachy, so I want to make it not preachy, but rather just get back to this point, and that being that if you want to create great music, then listen to great music. If you listen to a lot of subpar music, you might create more subpar music because your subconscious is going to lean back to the things you're more familiar with. In the same way, in art or illustration or animation or anything, if you watch a lot of stuff that is maybe not the highest quality, then chances are your subconscious is going to lean towards stuff that's not of the highest quality. So I think that's important, and I think, you know, to be able to go back a little bit on the preachy side, I think that's important in all aspects of life. You know, if you want to be, you have to inundate yourself in the things that you want to do and be. You know, if you say you want to be the world's best dentist, but you never study stuff about dentistry, then you're probably not going to be it, you know. And the same thing goes with any sort of endeavor, is that you really want to surround yourself with it as much as you can, so that that's where your brain tends to default to. And I think that's an important thing that I know that I'm still learning and stuff too. I definitely am getting to this point where I don't want to, like, that's a different discussion. So anyways, I think Ralph McQuarrie is wonderful. I think making your subconscious and trying to hone it as much as you can, with filling it with only things that will lead you down a certain path that you want to go, is a definitely important thing to do as anyone who's on sort of a creative journey. That being said, I'm rambling, so let's go ahead and get into our animation for today. This is a new rig over on Creative Crash. It is the flower character rig. If you're not familiar with what we'll be doing for the rest of the video, first off, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. You're wonderful. I totally believe in your creative powers, and I hope you're going off every day and creating something new. But what we'll be doing for the rest of the videos, we give ourselves 48 frames. I go off and I find a different rig to share with you guys every day, one that I've never used, so that brings up some different stuff as we go along through the process, different things to talk about, and give ourselves 48 frames is 2 seconds of animation, and we just kind of see what we come up with. And along the way, just kind of hang out with me while I animate. We talk about different things. Hopefully maybe you learn something along the way, or bare minimum that you get inspired to go off and create something of your own. And if you do, definitely share it back down in the comments below, so I can see all the amazing stuff that you guys are coming up with. So that being said, let's go ahead and get on in here. So there's a couple of things that I was thinking for this one. We could do kind of a walk, which would be fun and challenging because it doesn't really have feet. So how would we get it to move? And we'd have to think through that. And the other one would be to do like kind of a little dance, where it goes kind of side to side and bops along. So which one do I want to do? I think I'm going to steer away from a walk with this one. I just feel like we've been doing a bunch of that kind of stuff lately. So let's try and do maybe more of a little bit of dance, where we'll kind of stay in basically the same base area. And let's give ourselves 60 frames then to do that, because I want to play with the timing a little bit more. So let's come up with a little bit of a better pose here. Top one. Here we go. Let's bring those down. Easy. Up a little bit. Just gonna shape this a little bit more. Okay, let's see what we can do. It's kind of a funky little face here on this rig.
David failed to gain weight. The nursing staff then decided to put him at the closest supervision. This meant they had to have his one nurse watching David's bedside the whole time.
differential controls on here. Let's see.
and move them to a rehabilitation psychiatric ward.
There were a combination of reasons why it was felt that he was ready to move to a rehabilitation
Let's bring
ward.
that
There
down
were
a little bit
concerns by
more.
that time that some of his symptoms were being induced
Out a little
because by
bit.
somebody else. And there were child protection issues raised and the child protection procedure was followed through. In addition, David actually started to improve.
See what controllers we really have to use here.
The rehabilitation ward, then that improvement would continue.
On the 16th of August, the decision was made to transfer David to the Mildred Wing Psychiatric Unit at Great Ormond Street to begin rehabilitation. The move was scheduled to take place 4 days later, on August the 20th.
Okay, let's go. Keep us up kind of like that. Maybe we'll lift it up a little bit more. And let's turn our grid off. Let's go ahead and make sure we only have our nerve curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons selected. Let's grab everything, go to frame 0, and we'll go ahead and set our first key. And let's go and save our file here as well. And if we don't end up liking this idea, maybe we'll go back to a walk. I think it could be fun. So I'll go over, and then
An examination by hospital staff revealed that David was severely dehydrated.
over the other way.
Then, as they made efforts to treat him, he had a
What is
seizure.
this?
Further tests were carried out.
Tone. Okay.
They showed that the salt levels in the boy's body were extremely high.
Just delete.
Normal blood contains around 140 milligrams of salt per litre, but in David's case, the reading was 218 milligrams. Doctors were growing increasingly alarmed about his condition, and the efforts to treat him were becoming more frantic. As he began to lose
It's
consciousness,
just
there was a desperate attempt at resuscitation, but he slipped into a second, deeper coma. The next day, doctors faced two tasks: to reduce the excessive salt levels in David's blood and find out the cause them.
I'm just gonna hide it then.
Looked at David's feeds after he collapsed because the feed was going in at the time he did collapse. And when the feed was looked at, there were visible crystals which were
Just
thought to be
for now.
salt in the feed.
Could these crystals finally explain the high levels of salt in David's blood?
Hide that as
There
well.
is no
Okay.
medical reason for
Again, if we
additional
want to
salt
end
be added
doing
to
that,
the
we'll go
feeds.
ahead.
The
But
feeds
for now, we'll leave it here.
complete and no
So-
added salt is required for them. Therefore, finding salt crystals in the feeds means that
Try
they
full
must, that salt must
the
be
other
added
way.
to the feeds by somebody.
Detectives at Hendon Police in North London were called in to investigate. Meanwhile, David's condition became
Again, I want to hold it for a little bit there. Just go
I got into
over.
hospital and he got me the David's grandparents and
Give ourselves a couple more frames to get there.
and they were being told that they were going to switch to the
Let's see.
machine.
on the 20th of August 2001. David died.
There. So let's see. Oop. Oop. Go back a little bit.
Hydrated. Then, as they made efforts to treat him, he had a seizure.
56. Go a little bit. So we'll do two kind of big ones and hold, and two small ones. Go oop, 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 oop. Kind of like.
Normal blood contains around
It's always good to make sound effects. Always helps me at least.
But in David's case, the reading was 218.
We'll go back to what we had
People
originally.
were growing increasingly alarmed about his condition,
Let's see.
and the efforts to treat him were becoming more frantic. As he began to lose consciousness, there was a desperate attempt at resuscitation.
Alright, now let's look at our animation editor. There's graph editor here. And let's trim it down a little bit more.
The next day, doctors faced two tasks: to reduce the excessive salt levels in David's
Let's see.
blood and find out what had caused them.
We obviously looked at David's feeds after he collapsed because the feed was going in at the time he did collapse. And when the feed was looked at, there were visible crystals which were thought to be salt in the feed.
Could these crystals finally explain the high levels of salt in David's blood?
We'll still
There's no
hold
medical reason
that a
for
little bit
additional
more.
salt to be added to the feeds. The feeds are
train stop was devastated. Nothing but a child and death. But the high levels of salt in David's blood couldn't be overlooked, and the detectives were determined to find the cause. I became involved in the David Stopper case when I was phoned up by some officers from the Metropolitan Police, and they told me about the case and asked me which had been retrieved from where David was being killed from. Well, my first impressions of the case on the case was that David had was with some. Nothing else seemed to fit. Essentially, it was sucking water out of the cells of the body.
Played a couple more frames. Then we have a little bit of movement throughout.
Also sucks it out of the cells of the parts of the body as well. But what happens when the water is sucked out of the cells of the brain is that they shrink. The question was, how did excessive amounts of salt got to the nerve?
Okay, we'll probably cut this down by...
And critically, who put it there? Concentration of sodium in your blood is probably the magnitude of 40 milligrams per liter. Concentration in one of the bottles was 0.7 milliliters per box per liter, a very high concentration. That's a lot of salt.
The bees that David had were made up in the diet kitchen. They are a manufactured product and no added salt would have been added to them because they are completely right. There is no possibility of that salt being added other than deliberately. There would have been no medical reason for salt to be added.
Okay, now let's
Armed with that knowledge,
play
the
with
police
some
investigation of
more.
David's death changed. Great Ormond Street became the centre of the murder inquiry. The detectives leading the inquiry saw a pattern emerge, and it was a pattern that added weight to the early suspicion of hospital staff that David's own mother was involved. Following David's death, the train stopped became the number one suspect. It was she who wrote his letters to, because she was born. He read some as much as she could consistently. She was over up. But they can tell what was raised the question. If she
There's a
was
little bit of jerkiness here, though.
one was that none of us actually saw anything personally.
They were all a bit numb. But when they lost David and there's all this going on, they were completely numb. But it was about 6 o'clock in the morning when we were all asleep. And they're just
Yeah,
down.
I'll leave it for now. It's okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll go.
Eventually got up there on the noise in the house. Sue and Keith were staying with us at the time. You see, they called the
So anytime it's translating, I want it to have a little bit of a dip.
The suggestion was being made was simply that she was interfering.
Okay.
Besides, the effect of the course would be to heal his recovery, which is somewhat different to making him ill.
I think yeah, we're doing it. We have our holds, so we're going to dip down, up, dip down, up, dip down, up, dip down, up.
A relatively large number of agents carried over.
Okay, so let's watch that. Okay, so obviously we can don't want the lock off so harshly, and we'll make the last ones little dips. So let's see here.
During David's first admission to Great Ormond Street, there were concerns about the intravenous drip and also the pattern of blood in the urine, which at that time was thought to be the sort of thing that does sometimes happen.
And let's do a little bit of overshoot on all of these.
When you have a child has complex, difficult symptoms and is sent to a hospital which specialises in rare disease, one of the tasks for the hospital is to investigate for every possible incredibly rare disease, and that's often a very time-consuming process. So one can understand
To back
that
up.
one of the criteria was to say, well, let's be sure we're not doing this family an injustice, because it's a very strange disease being
The defense argument
Down,
that there was no harm that she was
down.
innocent, within no action.
Okay, and I'm sure we're gonna have to do a lot of cleanup on there.
If it was being suggested that she contained evidence, the urine sample
I just want a little bit. It's just so there's a little bit of tilt on the wings there.
The basis of the prosecution's case was to start with the evidence and work backwards. The evidence was that David had been killed by a massive salt overdose. Then, as they made efforts to treat him, he had a seizure. Further tests were carried out.
Okay, it's gonna look like that.
The old church staff had already been warned by their Great Ormond Street colleagues that David's mother may have been tampering with his samples in order to produce their useful readings. Neither team had firm evidence, but the theory is becoming stronger. Gradually, the suspicions that arose
Okay, it's
from
looking better.
began to ferment.
There we go. It's starting to come together.
As a result of the observations of the nurse in relation to the samples that David was providing. It was not the rule that the samples could be genuine.
Yeah, let's show
one of the reasons was that he had a undefined illness, which could not be explained in spite of extensive investigations, and even seeing many specialists. He always does
have it turn into the next tube.
But very important reason was that when non-reported surveillance was introduced, they would actually appear better in India.
Over the next 4 days, the staff logged more strange occurrences in David's medical notes. His mother had presented him with a sample of his vomit, which they didn't think was real.
Okay. Yeah, let's really minimize that a lot
His
too.
Ribena coated with sulfur, and still more blood clots appeared in his urine samples. The old church staff echoed at Great Ormond Street clearly had suspicion that the treatment was something involved. So why wasn't it?
Again, we just want a little bit of this, little bit of kind of overshoot.
As a pediatrician, you think the child is being harmed, or is at risk of being harmed. Even if you haven't got proof, you've got a single duty. Your duty is to report what you know to the social services department, and the children act as you have to.
Okay, so it's gonna look at
It's
that.
then up to the social service department to investigate the case. My experience in many of these cases is that investigations are inconclusive. At the end of the day, you just don't know.
It was hard for anyone to believe a mother would harm her own son. But staff were growing
I
increasingly
feel like these last ones are maybe a little too
and so
quick.
it seemed.
So
It's fine.
tip there.
To the bottom of the illness took orders for some relief, largely in common with the doctor's order not.
Emergency tip there.
After a meeting on the 5th of April, medical staff decided that David should receive one-on-one surveillance. Under a strict and watchful eye, his condition again improved.
David was allowed to go around the consultant pediatrician who made the decision.
Let's go look at that now. I'm sure we're gonna have to clean up those curves a lot more. So let's go ahead and see here.
It was lovely to have him home. He seemed to get on well when he was home. Most time when he was home, he was getting quite well. He had his birthday and he wanted to spend his birthday money. So Mum and Dad took him out and bought him
They lock these in, but just let them go.
and they also got some hat stuff. And he got on very well at home.
David actually came to see us when he came out of hospital, and he was unfortunately in a wheelchair at that stage. David was really pleased to be there. He really obviously enjoyed the trip, you could tell he did. We play a game which we call dodgeball, where we throw the ball at the children and they have to duck out the way, and if they get hit, they have to go and sit out. And we managed to include David in that.
But this happy time didn't last for long. After a rapid worsening of his condition in June 2001, David was readmitted to Old Church Hospital.
He continued to have some concerns with weight loss, feeling very weak, not able to move, and becoming wheelchair
Maybe we'll add a little bit
in
down there.
It seemed to be a sickness that we never knew which way it was sort of going, seeing that it was necessary while regretfully we had to let him go back into hospital because of the medical attention.
The staff was shocked to see how ill David was looking.
Let's see here.
An Old Church pediatrician examined him, then referred him again to Great Ormond Street for further tests. And it was while he was undergoing them that doctors thought they'd made a breakthrough.
Those
I
tests
think we should do a little
suggested
more up and down now that I'm looking at it since we redid the timing a little bit.
reaction to a particular sort of infection, a streptococcal infection. Streptococcal infections are really quite common.
The last one maybe not so much.
But occasionally, a person will respond unusually.
Dr. Definitely registered in Great Ormond Street was the doctor who finally came up with an idea to which the stock was applied. By this point,
Okay,
David Stock had
and
been ill for 7
let's go
months
ahead
and
and
was
see
in and out of 2 hospitals.
this guy.
After the suspicions surrounding his mother, it seemed the doctors may have at last discovered what was wrong with him. But there were to be dramatic developments. Medical staff were to find out what had really gone on inside David's body.
My first impressions of the case on reading the case notes was that David had been poisoned with some. Nothing else seemed to fit. And what that will do is that essentially it will suck water out of the cells of the brain.
July 2001, David Stock, now 9 years old, was in London's Great Ormond Street Hospital. He's been in and out of hospital for 7 months, and despite having an operation to remove his appendix, his condition is worsening. Pediatricians, dietitians, and psychologists are all trying and failed to establish what's wrong. So we remain concerned that inaccessible focus acquired neurocytals, and there are suspicions that his mother, Katrina, may be interfering in some way with his cycle and withdrawal.
A little
However,
bit
Great
more.
Ormond Street doctors finally believe they found out what was wrong with their young patient.
David was diagnosed as having Pandas syndrome, which stands for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorder, as a result of a streptococcal infection. It has a combination of effects,
Okay,
including
let's go ahead and grab the other set of leaves here. Show these ones, I believe. And we'll go the other way. Oops.
The clinicians obviously hoped to have pinpointed part of the problem at least, and starting him on treatment that he would improve.
And that, of course, means that it's involved with the life of the cycle that they can find deep.
Katrina was very relieved, obviously,
takes a long time for most of us, I think, to get suspicious. Because
Okay.
we're actually, if we do get suspicious, what we're actually saying is this person sitting in front of us, you've got to know over a period of time, presents the reactions like
Let's see.
lying through their teeth.
On the 2nd of August 2001, the same day David had been admitted to West Warden Street, he suffered a cardiac arrest and slipped into a coma.
I visited David in Great Street Hospital twice.
I think we'll just have this one
David's
go
mother may have been
twice the speed
in
here.
order to produce their news from meetings.
Let's see.
Neither team had firm evidence, but the theory was becoming stronger.
Okay, and I'll just do a little bit less of that. We'll just have it kind of flicker off in the background here.
Gradually, the suspicions that arose and the
Okay. Now let's go ahead and get into.
began to
Here's this one. Okay, that's right.
That happened as a result of the observations of the nurse.
Which one is it? Let's just do this.
In relation to the samples that David was providing.
So tip that way.
It was not believed that the samples could be genuine.
One of the reasons was that he had a ungenuine
Tip that way. So let's see.
which
I wanted to hit kind of before the extreme hits, so before you hit there. This way.
After extensive investigations, they have been able to see
60.
suspicious and always to
68.
outward.
Okay. And then back again.
More important reason was that
Okay, it's probably a little too much. And then we're gonna offset it by the base here. We can get it so that it feels like it's flat. So we want to grab both of those. And key selected. So make sure that we get them on the same frame here.
over the next 4 days, the staff local
Okay. And now let's just go into this. Oh, shoot. What did we do?
notes as in David's medical notes. His mother. But then he presented them with a sample of his vomit, which they didn't think was real. David made a complaint that his rapinometry tasted salty.
Shoot, it's the remaining.
Still more
We'll keep this.
his urine samples.
So let's see.
Unchurched
We need to
staff
do
on Great Ormond Street clearly had
this
suspicion.
one and this one at the same time. And we'll just delay the other part because it's more of a twist than actual geometry thing. Here. So okay, we're just going through here. Make sure we grab the right controller here.
More seriously,
If, as a doctor, as a pediatrician, you think the child is being harmed, or is at risk of being harmed? Even if you have no proof, you've got a single duty. Your duty just don't know.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and grab these guys.
It was not for anyone to believe that the mother would harm her own son.
And let's hit transit Y,
If
key
so,
select
it will be
it,
increasing to that conclusion.
and transit Y, just so we can set up a base timing that's built off of our other timing there.
And so it seemed, as David's father, Keith,
And then back again.
his father, raised concern as well. So surprised it was here. He erased things.
Transit Y
His
there.
wife was an instrument.
So we already have good timing based on the top. We're just going to use that same base timing to give the hands, and then we'll offset them a little bit. Or plant leaves, whatever you want to call these. I like to think of them as hands. Okay. So we want to raise them up.
Elevation others elevation of sin.
So here we go.
The sun of Rome and the sun of Europe glory.
Okay. Obviously, we gotta tweak these up a little bit.
And the moon put momentary continuation.
Let's see.
But the damage was done. Dr. McQuarrie's only husband, who made such serious allegations against him, was sick. He found them to be highly significant.
Let's minimize those last ones a little bit.
Suggestion. Through the same door. Desperation and frustration, as she felt that they all seemed unable to care for the person of the animals to focus on something they felt largely in common. And the doctors were not.
After a meeting on the 5th of April,
Let's grab these middle portions now.
under a strict watchman. Behind, his condition again was
Goes
good.
down.
The old church started already.
Social services are going to be local authority, and the Children Act tells you you have to do that. It's then up to the social service department to investigate the case. My experience in many of these cases is that investigations are inconclusive. At the end of the day, you just don't know.
It was not for anyone to believe the mother would harm her own son.
Again.
But started becoming
Down
increasingly
here.
conclusion.
Those last ones are still a little bit too big. So minimize those a little more.
Under a strict and watchful eye, his condition again improved.
What's it say?
The consultant pediatrician made a decision. Examined David.
This feels like it's too much. It's distracting, so I'll just scale it back.
Well, it was lovely to have him home. And he seemed to get on well when he was home. One time when he was home, he was getting on quite well. He had his birthday and he wanted to spend his birthday with me. So Mum and Dad took him out and brought him on board.
Let's see if we can get some rotating here.
And they also bought him a hamster. And he got on very well at home.
David actually came to see us when he came out of hospital, and he was on a full-time wheelchair at that stage. David was really pleased to be there. He really obviously enjoyed the trip. I tell you he did. We play a game which we call dodgeball, where we throw the ball at the children, and they have to duck out of the way, and if they get hit, they have to pass it out. And we managed to include David in that.
But this happy time didn't last for long. After a rapid worsening of his condition in June 2001, David was readmitted to Old Church Hospital.
He continued to have some concerns and vapors, feeling very weak, not being able to move, and doing wheelchair, and also being not sure what time of being.
It seemed to be a sickness that we never knew which way it was sort of going. So we had to say, maybe had to let him go back into hospital because of the medical attention.
The staff was shocked to see how ill David was looking. An Old Church pediatrician examined him and
Is that
referred him again to Great Ormond Street for further tests. And it was while he was undergoing that doctors spoke
got an extra control right there?
Those tests suggested that he had a rare and recently recognised reaction to a particular sort of infection, a streptococcal infection. Streptococcal infections are a bit like cholera, they cause many sore throats, but occasionally a person will respond unusually
wasn't quite up to his authority. When he was 42, he was weak, and this time he was quite fit in his way.
With David's condition only getting worse, he was readmitted to Old Church Hospital on the 1st of August 2009. But within 24 hours, the doctors there decided he needed to be treated in London.
Okay, let's see here.
During David's second admission to Great Ormond Street, and when he didn't respond to treatment which we would have expected to have abandoned, he was
too many here, so let's look at you.
Over the next 4 days, the staff logged more strange occurrences in David's medical notes. His mother had presented them with a sample of his vomit, which they didn't think was real. David made a complaint that his Rabinophil tasted salty, and still more blood clots appeared in his urine
Let's go
samples.
look at this one
An
here.
old church staff, like those at Great Ormond Street, clearly had suspicions that Freedom was somehow involved. So why wasn't he treated more seriously?
If, as a doctor,
This part.
as a pediatrician, you think the child is being harmed, or is at risk of being harmed, even if you are not
Okay, I thought I could maybe break up that one a
your
little
duty,
more.
your duty is to report what you know to the social services department of your authority. But you have to
Look at it.
It's then up to the social service department to investigate the case. My experience in many of these cases is that investigations are inconclusive. At the end of the day, you just don't know.
It was not for anyone to believe.
And I'll tone down everything on these bottom ones here.
To that conclusion. And so it seemed, was David's father, Keith.
His father raised concerns about the source of blood in David's urine. He alleged that his wife was getting menstrually disorder.
But why?
Just too much movement overall.
His wife may have tampered with the urine samples to make it look like there was something wrong.
He later assured the officer that the allegation of seeing his son derived and the sample of the urine blood very frequently recalled on further examination.
But the damage was done. The fact that the Keith's
Middle
own husband had
ones,
made such
tones
serious
down as
allegations
well.
against him was seen
Since we have
by
so
the
much going on the top ones, I don't think there's much going down on the bottom. Otherwise, it's just too busy.
He was summoned up desperation and frustration as she felt that they were simply unable to get to the bottom of the illness, which of course was something largely uncommon where the doctors had overlooked.
After a meeting on the 5th of April, medical staff decided that David should receive one-on-one surveillance. Under a strict and watchful eye, his condition again
Okay,
improved.
let's go look at that now.
David was about 9th of April. The consultant pediatrician made a decision, examined David after and found him cheerful and didn't fit to
Well, it was lovely to have him home.
Do we have
She
any?
seemed to get on well with
Let's see here, see if we have any controls for the eyes or anything
They
here.
had his birthday, he wanted to spend his birthday with me. So Mum and Dad took him out and bought him a walk. I think he wanted a camera. He was very interested in photography. And they also bought him a hamster. And he got on very well at home.
David actually came to see us when he came out of hospital, and he was unfortunately in a wheelchair at that stage. David was really pleased to be there. He really obviously enjoyed the trip, and so he did. We play a game which we call dodgeball, where we throw the ball to
Surfaces.
and they have to duck it away.
See if there's any other control I might have missed here.
And we managed to include David in that.
Polygons, okay.
But his happy time didn't last for long. After a rapid worsening of his condition in June 2001, David was readmitted to Old Church Hospital.
He continued to have some concerns related to
Saw that there was a tongue control, so there's gotta be some sort of mouth controller. Is it hidden here?
It seemed to be a sickness that we never knew which way it was sort of going, seeing that it was necessary wrong. Regretfully, we had to let him go back into hospital because had further medical attention.
The staff was shocked to see how ill David was looking. An old church pediatrician examined him, then referred him again to Great Ormond Street for further tests. And it was while he was undergoing
I'm sure there is,
the
but
doctors thought they'd made a
I'll
progress.
waste a bunch of time with that. So let's go ahead and look at it now. Let's see how we're doing here.
Rare and recently recognised reaction to a particular sort of infection, a streptococcal infection. Streptococcal infections are really quite common. They
Okay,
cause many sort of
let's
but occasionally
grab everything
a
here.
person can
Let's keep our ourselves 74 frames. Let's take everything we have at 73. Two more frames there.
By this point, David
We'll just kind of ease back into that.
and been in and out of 2 hospitals. After the suspicions surrounding his mother, it seemed the doctors may have at last discovered what was wrong with him. But there were to be dramatic developments. Medical staff were to find out what
One more
was
frame.
inside David's body.
My first impressions of the case on reading the case was that David had been poisoned with something. Nothing else seemed to fit.
Just allow us to ease back into what we had originally, and so we'll make for a better loop.
It will suck the water out of the cells of the brain.
July 2001, David stopped now 9 years old as a London's Street Hospital.
I said I'd love some more facial controls. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I was just double checking the file. See, it looks like there's no facial rig for this one. That's okay. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. And we'll scale it out a little more. Change our angle a little bit. And let's point on primitives. Let's go to our cube. Make a background here. Scale it up a little bit. Raise it up. Assign a new material to it. Put a Lambert on there. And let's pick up.
Initially, David didn't improve and was allowed to go home. But the doctor's optimism proved to be misplaced.
It made poor Bruce money that he was unwell. He was losing weight, he was lethargic, he was volatile, he was weak, and this time he was refitting his way.
With David's condition only getting worse, he was readmitted to Old Church Hospital on the 1st of August 2001. But within 24 hours, the doctor said
Something like that.
he needed to
And we'll turn your curves off.
During the David's second admission to Greater
Let's go ahead and get something up here in the front a little bit better. Let's go ahead and play that now.
It became of greater concern, I believe, to the clinicians about whether something else was causing his problems, including whether the relatively minor events which had been noticed before and had been noticed at Old Church might have been
Alright, I think it turned out okay. Definitely would be. The face, I feel like, is so static that it's a little. It feels a little flat because we don't have any controllers for it, but that's okay. I think we got the rest of it moving pretty. Alright.
Because what we're actually, if we do get suspicious, what we're
Let's,
actually is this person sleep factors.
maybe. Do an inverse. Just to break up this bottom part of the, what do you call it? Pot. Yeah, clay pot. Here, a little more.
I visited David in Goatman Street Hospital twice, actually. The first time, I'd been delivered by police to say that David was actually in a coma. And that the coma was on a scale of 1 to 9, it was, I think it was a 3, which is apparently not really deep in a coma. And I don't know if he was aware that I was there or not. I spoke to him, I held his hand, and
It just feels a little
had
better
a
there.
conversation with him, which obviously he couldn't answer or communicate with me.
David did come out of the coma, but he remained seriously ill and was unable to eat and drink normally.
David was being fed via a tube going into his nose, and therefore
We'll probably spend some more time loosening up those bottom stems. I think that's alright. Right now, let's see, we're at,
so that they contain the full amount of
yeah, about an hour, so that sounds about right. So let's take a look back at where we start. We're looking at Ralph McQuarrie, the phenomenal concept artist behind almost every
Despite the fees,
foundational sci-fi movie out there. And I think a lot of my ideas just float up from my subconscious mind like a bubble from the bottom of the lake. Again, just harkening back to what we were looking at before, try and fill your subconscious with as much quality that you can so that you have a great pool to grab from, even when you're not thinking that you're thinking about your work or your journey or your passion, but it's so ingrained in you that it'll even do stuff in the background. So you'll be like, oh, you know what? I had this great idea the other day, and that goes along with also try to always carry a laptop with you or a sketchbook or some sort of even on your phone they have notation programs so that you just punch in a quick little idea, because you never know, that might spark something else in the future. So always have something handy to write down. Any little idea might be nothing, and you might just toss it, but it might be that pearl that you're looking for. You don't want to lose it, because that'd be the worst. You wake up at 3 a.m. and you just had this crazy dream, and you're like, oh, what if I did something like this? And then if you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh yeah, what was that dream? And you can't think about it, but you're like, oh yeah, I wrote about that in my notebook, so I'm gonna go check that. And I do that a lot, and sometimes come up with good ideas, and sometimes it's just random crap. So that being said, thanks again for watching, everybody. I hope that you're having a lovely day. I hope that you're continuing on your journey to reach those goals that you're striving for. And don't forget, if you do an animation with this rig, or if you guys are out there creating whatever it is that you're working on, definitely share it back so I can see all the wonderful stuff you guys are coming up with as well. And thanks again for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a lovely day. And that being said, we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.